we actually play with the length among the length of this right angle triangle. Okay, having given them some special names according to the angle they have selected, we actually play with dividing them by each other. Okay, so when you divide certain length with certain length, we give them a name. What do we mean by that? Let's say tangent. Tangent is always we use certain opposite side, opposite length over adjacent length. Okay, that is provided you have picked certain angle lah. For any angle you pick, the tangent of the angle is always opposite over adjacent, and the cosine of the angle is always your adjacent over your hypo. Okay, the length of the hypo. And if you use sine, that will be opposite length over your length of the hypo. Okay, how do you remember all that? Okay, the trick is actually to use this phrase called tua ka so, right? Tua is we take the first alphabet of all these ratios and length. Tangent T, opposite for O, A for adjacent, so tua. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. Ka is CAH, right? So is cosine is adjacent over hypo. First alphabet CAH, ka. So is your sine. Sine of an angle is equal to your opposite O, hypo H, SOH. So tua ka so to remember. Okay, the three basic ratio, the way we compare the length, right? The length over length. The three ratio, the basic ratio that you need to know in trigonometry. Okay, again they are dependent on the angle that you have chosen. Take for example, if you have chosen angle A here, so sine of A is still, we just see that it's so, right? SOH. So it's opposite over hypo. The opposite for angle A, opposite is your x. So it's actually x. Hypo is the same for anybody. It's always the length that's facing around 90 degrees. So it's z. Down here, like that. So when you have sine of angle A, you use length x over length z. Cosine A will be your adjacent over your hypo, right? Because it's ka, CAH, right? So from there, your adjacent for your angle A, this is your angle A, adjacent is your length y, y over your hypo, that is your z. And for tangent of angle A is opposite over, tangent is always opposite over adjacent, right? So we're opposite over adjacent. And for this case, the opposite of this tangent A is x, adjacent is y. So it's x over y. It will be different, it will be quite different if you pick angle B. If you pick an angle B here, then your y become the opposite, your x become the adjacent, the hypo still remains the same, right? So sine is your so, right? So is SOH, right? Opposite over your hypo. So your opposite for your angle B, opposite side is your y, right? So it's a y over, hypo is still the same z, so it's y over z. Okay, and for your cosine again is adjacent over hypo. So adjacent is adjacent over hypo. Adjacent for angle B is different here. See, it is the length that is the angle is sitting on is x, and your hypo is your z, right? And for your tangent B, your angle for tangent is your opposite over adjacent, right? For B, your opposite is this one, so is your y over your adjacent is x, so y over x. Okay, so this one is actually your opposite over adjacent. Okay, so you see that they are different for most of it. This is how you do your sine, cosine and tangent of the angle that you have selected.